Hello everybody and welcome back to GameCast. Today we're going to be doing our Divisional round review, and let's just get started because holy shit, this weekend was crazy. Not only did we have upsets, but we had MVP duels, and let's just get into the video. And before we got started, I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who have started to support my channel. I know it's really still small, but it still means a lot that there's people out there commenting on my videos and watching my videos, but I hope to grow the channel, and let's get into it. Washington versus Detroit. The Detroit Lions are a football team that have suffered through many ups and downs, with losing season after losing season, and even a season where they didn't win a game at all. But last year, they made an appearance in the NFC Championship game, but unfortunately lost to the San Francisco 49ers. With this result, things are looking up for this historically bad franchise. This past year, they went 15-2, achieving the 1 seed, but just like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson's career, the season was wasted. And by all teams, the Washington Commanders. Now, that's not to discredit the Washington Commanders at all, because this has been a historically great Washington team. Making the NFC Championship game for the first time in, 25, 30 years is a crazy feat to have happen, especially with a rookie QB and a team that really wasn't meant to be great. Like, people looked at this roster preseason and wasn't amazed by everything. Even with Jane and Daniels coming in, people had doubts out of college, but Washington dominated this game on all facets. Even with Jared Goff's inconsistency throughout the year, we all thought he was going to come in here and light it up just like he has all the times before. But he laid an egg. He was terrible. And Washington took advantage of that, and now they're moving on to the NFC Championship game. And the fact that Washington could go to a Super Bowl with a rookie QB, because if you watch the Eagles game, the Eagles don't look unbeatable. They played a good Rams team, but they don't look unbeatable by any facts at all, or any facet at all. Because as well as this Washington team is so explosive, I think that if Washington can play well on defense and stop Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, I think they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And depending on who they play, they could win it. I might be drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit here, but I'm going all in on this Washington team. Even if they played a Detroit team that not only was very injured on defense, but also had an injured Jared Goff early into this game, I still think that this Washington team has been extremely, extremely dominant. That win over Tampa Bay wasn't so convincing, but I think this one, beating such a high-powered offense, and I mean, you held them to 30 points, but then you scored 45, so it's that's just amazing in itself. And this game wasn't a blowout by any means. They weren't just up and Detroit was playing catch up. This game was very close through the first half, but then Jared Goff started making mistakes, and it wasn't good. He threw 4 interceptions, or 3. I don't know how many interceptions he threw. He threw a lot, and it was enough to cost them the game. But I really think that even with that being the case, if this Washington defense can force turnovers against the Eagles next week, they have a great chance of going to the Super Bowl. And I think this Washington team, it looks just balanced all around. Besides that, my main point from this game is that Ben Johnson was not really calling his offense. It didn't look like they had the normal Detroit offense where they're going explosive plays and they have the run game going. It just didn't look right. And now with Ben Johnson leaving, I don't even know what to think. But congratulations, y'all are moving on. Commanders to the bowl. Los Angeles versus Philadelphia. I don't think the Eagles should have won this game. My thing about this team is that it's extremely one-dimensional, and that's why I think they could get eliminated next week. And yes, I'm drinking the Washington Kool-Aid, and I don't care. Saquon can only do so much, and if in most cases it's enough to win, but I don't know how confident I am in this Eagles receiving core. They haven't showed up in the last few weeks, and even with the best defense in the game, the Eagles need some explosiveness on offense, especially to beat this Jane Daniels team, this Washington team, because we saw that out of the Lions. If you don't have the explosiveness to keep up with this team, they're just going to bury you. And I know my voice just sounded weird there. I need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid and drink some water. But honestly, I didn't watch very much of this game. But I really did think, watching back the highlights, that it was more entertaining than I was letting on. Saquon Barkley had over 200 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, but Jalen Hurts had a touchdown on the ground, but only threw for like 120 yards through the air and no touchdowns. It really just wasn't an Eagles offensive masterclass like we've seen before. It was just something that they relied on their defense, a lot like the Chiefs. They just did enough to win on offense and relied on that elite defense to just take care of the rest. And I think we just saw the Rams offensive inconsistencies here. They didn't look like the Rams team that we're used to, and that was ultimately their downfall. They weren't able to put up enough points on offense to, I guess, keep up with the Eagles, even though this was a pretty low-scoring game. They needed to do just a little bit more. And on that final drive, I watched that like on my TV. I didn't just go through the highlights. I watched that final drive, and if it wasn't for the Rams' offensive line just actually selling the game, they had a chance to come back and win this game. And moving forward, I don't know what the Rams are going to do at quarterback. I think Matthew Stafford will still be around for a year or two, but I think it's time for them to draft a quarterback and continue building this team because they have a good core, but they need to find somebody who can lead them to that next step. Because ever since their Super Bowl win, they've been extremely inconsistent when it comes to success in the postseason or just success in the regular season in general, because it's all just been a mess. They've been a really good team at times, but also really inconsistent. And this game was one of them. I also think that Rams defense, headed by Jared Verse, the rookie, who is my defensive rookie of the year, I think that they need to make some adjustments because they aren't the best. They're probably middle of the pack when it comes to defense, and that's what they struggled with, especially their run defense. I realize how great Saquon Barkley is, but 200 yards and 2 touchdowns to, yes, the best running back in the league. But you have to, if you're a great football team, you're going to have to limit those key players at some point. Eagles, congratulations. I fucking hate you guys. Buffalo versus Baltimore. Well. Isn't it the old Baltimore Ravens? It's like, seriously, guys. You have the best running back quarterback tandem in the fucking league, and all you can do is just shit your pants in the playoffs. I don't mean to hate the Baltimore Ravens. I normally don't like them, but I picked them to win this game because I don't like the fucking Bills. I don't like playing the Bills because it's always just a game where I know that we're going to get our shit rocked for 4 quarters and then have to stress until the very end. As a Chiefs fan, that fucking sucks. And yes, the refs are on our side. I can't wait to see what type of ref ball that comes out in this game against the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship. And I cannot wait to go win another Super Bowl. Fucking sue me. But back to this game, I mean, Lamar Jackson just made too many mistakes. He had 2 turnovers, 1 interception that was just god awful, and then he had a fumble, which I guess, yes, there's ice all over the field and stuff like that, but it's just, again, Ravens' inconsistency on their offense, a lot like the Rams. They just, if they're not putting up 40 points a game, they're putting up 20, and their defense isn't strong enough to stop a team like the Buffalo Bills. And I think even if they would have won this game, they wouldn't have won next week because with their offense paired up against Kansas City's defense, I think Kansas City would have walked all over them, in my opinion. It's just, this was a hard game to watch. I was at work while watching this game, and I would check in on my breaks and everything, and I would see, it was a close game, 21-19 at the end of the third quarter, and then it would just fucking fall apart. Like, they couldn't do anything, and at the end of the game, they were doing all right. Like, they were coming back. It looked like that this team was going to come back. They just couldn't finish the job. And back to that defense, the defense did show up, but they only showed up really for the fourth quarter, holding Buffalo to 2 field goals to pretty much end the game. And if this offense from this Ravens final drive would have shown up the entire game, they would have won easily. I mean, no question. If this offense from this final drive of the Ravens game, they would have won this game by more than 10 points. because the Buffalo Bills are a good football team, but if you have a high-powered offense that the Ravens are supposed to have, then they would have won this game.
Roll, flip it, got it. Oh, the ball was dropped. He had the 2-point conversion in his hands.
Houston versus Kansas City. Oh gosh. At this point, I'm genuinely terrified for this offense because we have so many potential playmakers that just aren't making the plays needed. But hey, Travis Kelce's back to form. He went for 117 yards and a touchdown, which was basically a majority of Mahomes' passing yard and his only touchdown. But God, we have DeAndre Hopkins, we have Marquise Brown, and they haven't done anything. Xavier Worthy's been a solid piece, but he's only averaging 40, 50 yards a game. But I mean, our defense is best, if not one of the best in the league. So on that front, I'm not worried, even going into this game against the Buffalo Bills. But we need to score more points on offense, and it's honestly kind of worrying because the Bills are such a high-powered offense and an explosive team with the formidable defense. If we can't put up points on this Buffalo team, we are going to lose. The Kansas City Chiefs will lose if they cannot get something together on offense. I get we scored 23 points and everything, but against the Houston team, whose defense is good, it's a great defense. But we need to score more points. That's what the Chiefs are known for is a good offense. Besides that, my stupid rant. Besides that, this was a good game. The Chiefs played a good game, especially on defense, sacking C.J. Stroud 8 times and then blocking a field goal and blocking an extra point. I mean, there's nothing more I can ask for except for more points on offense. But good job, guys. Great job, guys. Especially Travis Kelce. You're old as shit, but I've always said Travis Kelce in the playoffs, there's nothing, you can't fuck with that. Besides that, I did put some clips in there of the refs kind of being crazy. What I will say is that yes, the refs weren't great this game, but we need to look at, as NFL fans, just around the league, instead of hyper-focusing on one game. Like, the Texans went for it on 3rd and 10, and they try to throw a screen pass, the blitz come in, and they get sacked. And then they go for it on 4th and 10 with 10 minutes left in the game, only down by 8, and they get sacked, basically handing Kansas City the win. They go and they score a field goal, and then from there the Texans couldn't do anything. Man, they kick a field goal, it gets blocked, and then we run it out of the back of the end zone for a safety. They scored 12 points offensively. You can't say that that's going to get you the win. Even if the Chiefs got bailed out on 2 drives, there's no telling how many other drives the Chiefs could have scored on because they really don't score. I mean, come on. I just wanted to thank y'all for watching. I know this video probably wasn't the greatest. I was kind of rushing to get it done. It already took me a while to edit this, and it's Wednesday at about 10 o'clock. So I'm going to get this posted, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it. This one was kind of me more rambling and stuff, but just let me know what y'all would like me to do. If y'all want me to do more of just reviewing the game and what happened during the game, or just giving my thoughts about the game. But these have been fun to make, and I really do enjoy doing this. So please hit the like button and subscribe, and just be along for the ride, man. It's going to be fun, and I hope to improve in the future.